story of 2011 was the sale of Securities America from Ameriprise to Ladenburg Thalmann. And Securities America got caught in the middle of the rampant fraud in a series of private placement offerings that wound up being charged by the SEC with fraud. Those were Medical Capital and Provident Royalties. Now, Medical Capital created a huge burden, a costly legal burden for Securities America. And investors were suing the firm because these investments had collapsed, people were losing their principal. Securities America was the largest underwriter and seller of Medical Capital notes. So this created a huge dilemma for Securities America and the ultimate owner of Securities America, which is Ameriprise Financial. So Ameriprise had a big question looming over it throughout 2011. Should they let Securities America duke it out and with the litigants and likely go under because it couldn't afford the litigation, or should Ameriprise somehow spin this off and try to find a buyer, and Ameriprise also would have to bite the bullet in some kind of legal settlement. That was part of the whole process. So Ameriprise chose the latter, right? They chose to sell Securities America. But in the months running up to that decision, and the months running up to the $150 million legal settlement that occurred in the springtime of 2011, it was arduous for the financial advisors at Securities America and for some of their clients too. Because the advisors from week to week, almost day to day, almost hour to hour, it seemed, didn't know whether or not Securities America was going to continue and be sold, or would it eventually be shut down. And in private conversations with brokerage executives around that time, people were praying, literally, for Ameriprise to find a buyer for this thing, because it would have been a tremendous embarrassment and painful to watch for the financial advice and independent brokerage industry if a very significant firm like Securities America, which is a top 10 brokerage firm, which does more than $400 million in gross revenues every year, if a firm such as that size had failed. Other firms that were smaller than Securities America, who had sold the same products or similar products that failed, as Securities America did, had collapsed or gone into bankruptcy. Gunn Allen Financial, QA3, those firms. But they weren't nearly the size or significance of Securities America. So when Ameriprise bit the bullet, I think it was a huge, it created a huge sigh of relief among everybody concerned in the business.